Hey there, I'm Mark, just your average 46-year-old guy trying to navigate life's crazy twists and turns. Before I dive into my story, do me a solid and hit that subscribe button, will ya? Trust me, you're going to want to stick around for this wild ride. So picture this. I'm chilling on the couch with my smoking hot fiancée Jenny, scrolling through our phones and laughing at cat videos. Life's pretty sweet right now, but man, it wasn't always this way. Let me take you back a few years. I was in my mid-20s when I tied the knot with Lisa. We were young, dumb, and thought we had it all figured out. One thing we agreed on: no kids. We'd high-five about our future vacations and financial freedom. Who needs rugrats when you've got each other? We'd joke. Fast forward a few years, and Lisa starts getting that look in her eye every time we pass a playground. I'm thinking, oh hell no, this ain't part of the plan. But I brush it off, figuring it's just a phase. Mark, don't you think it'd be nice to have a little one running around? She'd say, all casual like. Babe, we talked about this. Remember all those trips we wanted to take? The early retirement? She'd sigh and drop it, for a while. But as time went on, those conversations got more frequent and intense. It was like watching a slow-motion train wreck, and I was helpless to stop it. I feel like something's missing, Mark. Don't you want to leave a legacy? Our legacy can be more than just kids, Lisa. What about all the good we could do with our time and money? But she wasn't having it. The tension in our house got so thick you could cut it with a knife. We'd go days without really talking, just dancing around the elephant in the room. Finally, Lisa dropped the bomb. I can't do this anymore, Mark. I want kids, and if you can't give me that, then maybe we shouldn't be together. It felt like a sucker punch to the gut. I mean, I knew we were having problems, but hearing her say it out loud, that shit hurt. We tried counseling, but it was like putting a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound. After almost 2 years of this back-and-forth hell, we finally called it quits. The divorce was messy, painful, and left me questioning everything. I threw myself into work, trying to numb the pain. My buddies would drag me out to bars, trying to get me back in the game, but my heart wasn't in it. Come on, Mark, you gotta get back out there. Plenty of fish in the sea, right? Yeah, and they all want to spawn. No thanks. But life has a funny way of surprising you when you least expect it. I was at this work conference, bored out of my mind, when I bumped into Jenny. Literally bumped into her, spilling coffee all over both of us. Oh shit, I'm so sorry, I stammered, trying to help her clean up. She just laughed it off. No worries. Honestly, you probably saved me from having to sit through another boring presentation. We got to talking, and it was like the universe had dropped the perfect woman in my lap. Smart, funny, and, get this, also committed to the child-free life. Kids? Nah, I'd rather spoil my nieces and nephews and then send them home, she joked. From that moment on, it was like my life kicked into high gear. Jenny and I started dating, and suddenly, all that pain from my divorce started to fade away. We'd spend weekends exploring new cities, trying out crazy restaurants, and just enjoying each other's company without any pressure. 4 years flew by in the blink of an eye. I knew Jenny was the one, so I planned this elaborate proposal at the top of a mountain we'd hiked together. Jenny, you've shown me what true partnership looks like. Will you marry me and continue this amazing child-free adventure with me? She said yes, of course. And as we stood there, looking out over the valley, I felt like I'd finally found my place in the world. So yeah, that's where I'm at now. Planning a wedding, looking forward to a future full of travel, personal growth, and freedom. Life's good, you know? But little did I know, the past was about to come knocking on my door and shake things up all over again. So there I was, chilling on the couch with Jenny, flipping through wedding magazines and arguing over centerpieces. Who knew planning a wedding could be such a pain in the ass? Mark, what do you think about these flowers? Babe, they all look the same to me. Can't we just pick whatever's cheapest? Jenny rolled her eyes. You're hopeless, but I love you anyway. We were laughing and tossing ideas back and forth when my phone started buzzing. Unknown number. I almost ignored it, but something made me pick up. Hello? Mark, it's Lisa. I felt like I'd been hit by a truck. Lisa, after all these years? Jenny must have seen the shock on my face because she mouthed, "Who is it?" I held up a finger trying to process what was happening. "Lisa, wow. It's been a while. What's up?" "I need to talk to you about something important. Can we meet?" "I don't know if that's a good idea," I said, glancing at Jenny. "We haven't spoken in years. Why now?" There was a pause, and then Lisa dropped the bomb. "I have a son, Mark. His name is Tommy. He's 5, and he needs a father figure in his life." I nearly choked on my own spit. "Whoa, hold up. You have a kid? And you're calling me about this? Why?" "His biological father isn't in the picture," Lisa explained, her voice getting that pleading tone I remembered all too well. "I thought maybe you could, I don't know, be there for him." "Lisa, I'm sorry, but that's not going to happen. You know how I feel about kids. That hasn't changed." But Lisa wasn't giving up that easy. "Just think about it, Mark. Remember how good we were together? We could be a family. Tommy needs a strong male role model, and I know you'd be great at it." I felt my blood starting to boil. "Are you kidding me right now? We divorced because you wanted kids and I didn't. That hasn't changed. And in case you forgot, I'm engaged." "Engaged? Oh." Lisa sounded surprised, then switched tactics. "Well, congratulations. But Mark, this isn't about us. It's about an innocent little boy who needs help. Can't you find it in your heart to at least meet him?" I pinched the bridge of my nose, feeling a headache coming on. "Lisa, I'm sorry, but no. I can't be what you're asking me to be. I hope you understand." "You always were selfish, Mark," Lisa snapped. "I thought maybe you'd grown up, but I guess not. Think about someone other than yourself for once." She hung up before I could respond. I sat there staring at my phone like it might explode. "Mark, what's going on?" Jenny asked, looking worried. I filled her in on the bizarre conversation, watching her face go from confused to angry to concerned. Wow, that's a lot to process," Jenny said when I finished. "How are you feeling?" "Honestly, I'm pissed. How dare she call out of the blue and dump this on me? And then try to guilt-trip me into being some kind of stand-in dad?" Jenny nodded, but I could see the wheels turning in her head. "I get why you're upset, but do you think maybe you should hear her out? Not to do what she's asking, but just to get closure?" I stared at her like she'd grown a second head. "Are you serious? You want me to meet with my ex-wife who's trying to rope me into playing daddy?" "Of course not," Jenny said, grabbing my hand. "But I know you, Mark. This is going to eat at you if you don't deal with it head on. Maybe meeting her in person will help you put this to rest once and for all." I sighed, knowing she had a point. "You're right, as usual. But what if she brings the kid?" "Then we set some ground rules," Jenny said firmly. "Meet in a public place, keep it short, and make it clear this is a one-time thing." I nodded, feeling a mix of dread and relief. "Okay, I'll text her and set something up. But I'm telling you right now, nothing good is going to come from this." Jenny leaned in and kissed me softly. "Whatever happens, we're in this together, okay?" I pulled her close, grateful for her support. "Okay, let's do this." I picked up my phone and typed out a message to Lisa. "Fine, let's meet. Coffee shop on Main St. tomorrow at 2. Just us. We'll talk, but I'm not changing my mind." The response came almost immediately. "Thank you, Mark. See you then." As I set my phone down, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was walking into a trap. But with Jenny by my side, I felt ready to face whatever Lisa might throw at me. Little did I know this was just the beginning of a storm that was about to turn my life upside down. I walked into the cafe, my stomach in knots. Spotting Lisa at a corner table, I froze. She wasn't alone. A little boy sat next to her, coloring in a book. "Fuck," I muttered under my breath. So much for ground rules. Lisa waved, that familiar smile plastered on her face. "Mark, over here." I approached slowly like I was walking into a minefield. "Lisa, I thought I said just us." "Oh, I'm sorry. Tommy was so excited to meet you I couldn't leave him behind. Tommy, say hi to Mark." The kid looked up, all big eyes and messy hair. "Hi, Mark." I nodded awkwardly. Hey." Sitting down, I tried to keep my cool. "Lisa, this isn't what we agreed on." She had the decency to look sheepish. I know, but Mark, just look at him. Doesn't he remind you of someone?" I glanced at Tommy, then back at Lisa. "What are you getting at?" Lisa leaned in, lowering her voice. "He's yours, Mark." The world tilted on its axis. What the fuck are you talking about? Language, Lisa hissed, glancing at Tommy. I stood up, my chair scraping loudly. Outside, now. We stepped out, leaving Tommy with a coloring book. Once clear of the door, I rounded on Lisa. Are you out of your fucking mind? There's no way that kid is mine. Lisa held up her hands. Okay, he's not yours biologically, but Mark, we were married. In a way, he is yours. I felt like I was losing my grip on reality. That's not how this works, Lisa. You can't just decide I'm responsible for your kid because we used to be married. But think about it, Mark. We could be a family again. Tommy needs a father, and deep down, I know you want this too. I laughed bitterly. You're delusional. I'm engaged, Lisa, to a woman who doesn't want kids, just like me. Lisa's face darkened. Oh yes, your precious Jenny, the woman who stole you away. Jenny didn't steal anything. We divorced because you wanted kids, and I didn't. End of story. Lisa's voice rose, drawing looks from passers-by. You're making a mistake, Mark. Tommy needs you. I need you. Lower your voice, I hissed. You're causing a scene. But Lisa was on a roll. You think Jenny loves you? She's just using you. She'll leave as soon as she finds someone better. That's enough, I snapped. Jenny is twice the woman you'll ever be. Lisa's eyes flashed dangerously. You bastard. I'll make sure everyone knows what a heartless asshole you are. Steve, Sarah, all our old friends, they'll see you for what you really are. I stepped back, feeling like I'd been slapped. You're fucking crazy, you know that? Stay away from me, Lisa, and stay away from Jenny. Turning on my heel, I stormed off, ignoring Lisa's shouts behind me. My hands shook as I pulled out my phone, blocking Lisa's number in every social media account I could find. I walked for blocks, trying to clear my head. What the hell just happened? How did Lisa go from asked for help to claiming her kid was mine to threatening me? Finally, I called Jenny. Hey babe, how'd it go? I let out a shaky breath. It was a shit show. Can you meet me at home? I need a drink and about 10 showers. On my way, Jenny said, concern evident in her voice. As I waited for her, I couldn't shake the feeling that this was far from over. Lisa's threats echoed in my head. What kind of storm had I just walked into? I poured myself a stiff drink, downing it in one go. By the time Jenny walked in, I was on my second. Whoa, slow down there, cowboy, she said, eyeing the glass. That bad, huh? I nodded, slumping onto the couch. You have no idea? Jenny sat beside me, her hand on my knee. Talk to me, Mark. What happened? I spilled it all, Lisa bringing Tommy, her insane claim that he was somehow mine, her threats and insults. Jenny listened, her face a mix of shock and anger. That bitch, she muttered when I finished. I can't believe she'd stoop so low. I know. I'm sorry, babe. I never should have agreed to meet her. Jenny squeezed my hand. Hey, this isn't your fault. Lisa's clearly lost it. We'll deal with this together, okay? I nodded, grateful for her support. What if she follows through on her threats, turns our friends against us? Then they weren't real friends to begin with, Jenny said firmly. We know the truth. That's what matters. I pulled her close, breathing in her familiar scent. What did I do to deserve you? Jenny smiled, kissing me softly. You're stuck with me, buddy. Crazy exes and all. As we sat there, I tried to push away the nagging fear in my gut. Lisa wasn't the type to give up easily. This was just the beginning, and I had a feeling things were about to get a whole lot worse before they got better. We should probably warn our families, I said, in case Lisa tries to contact them. Jenny nodded. Good idea. And maybe we should think about beefing up our privacy settings online, just in case. I sighed, feeling the weight of it all. So much for our drama-free wedding planning, huh? Jenny laughed, but it was strained. Hey, they say marriage is about facing challenges together, right? Consider this practice. As we started making calls and changing passwords, I couldn't shake the image of Tommy's innocent face. He didn't ask for any of this. But I knew in my heart that giving in to Lisa's demands wasn't the answer. Whatever came next, Jenny and I would face it together, and that gave me the strength to keep going, even as the storm clouds gathered on the horizon. The shit hit the fan faster than I could have imagined. It started with a call from my sister Karen. Mark, what the hell is going on? Lisa just called me in tears. I groaned, rubbing my temples. Let me guess. She told you I'm some kind of heartless monster. She said you refused to help her son. Your son, Mark. How could you? For fuck's sake, Karen, he's not my kid. Lisa's lost her mind. But Karen wasn't having it. I always knew you were selfish, but this is a new low? I tried to explain, but Karen wasn't listening. Next thing I knew, my brother-in-law Tom was on the phone. Real men step up, Mark. I thought you were better than this. It was like talking to a brick wall. By the time I hung up, I was ready to throw my phone out the window. Jenny walked in looking worried. Everything okay? I shook my head. Lisa's been busy. My sister and brother-in-law think I'm the devil incarnate. Jenny sighed, sitting next to me. Yeah, I just got off the phone with your cousin Sarah. She had some choice words for me. What? Why the hell is she coming after you? Apparently I'm the evil temptress who's keeping you from your true family, Jenny said, making air quotes. I felt a surge of anger. This is bullshit. I'm calling Lisa right now and... Jenny grabbed my arm. Wait, before you do anything, check your social media. Confused, I pulled up Facebook. My jaw dropped. Lisa had been busy all right. There were posts all over my timeline, screenshots of texts I'd never sent, claims about secret meetings and promises I'd never made. Holy shit, I muttered, scrolling through the mess. She's completely fabricated this whole story. Jenny nodded grimly. It gets worse. Check the wedding planning group. I switched over to find chaos. Lisa had somehow joined the group and was posting all sorts of wild claims. That Jenny was pregnant with another man's baby. That I was still in love with Lisa. That we were calling off the wedding. This is insane, I said, my hands shaking with rage. How the hell did she even get into that group? Jenny shrugged helplessly. I don't know, but Mark, people are believing her. Look at the comments. She was right. Friends, family members, even some of our vendors were chiming in, expressing shock and disappointment. We need to do damage control, Jenny said, her voice steady despite the chaos. Start with the truth. Post our side of the story. I nodded, but as I started typing, doubt crept in. What if I am being selfish? Maybe I should at least meet the kid properly. Jenny's eyes widened. Mark, no, that's exactly what Lisa wants. You can't give in to her manipulation. I know, it's just all this shit she's stirring up. Maybe if I just talk to her. And then what? Jenny asked sharply. You become a father to a kid you never wanted? Throw away everything we've built together? Her words stung, but I knew she was right. I took a deep breath, steeling myself. You're right. I'm sorry. Let's do this. We spent the next few hours posting rebuttals, messaging friends, and trying to undo the damage Lisa had done. It felt like bailing out a sinking ship with a teaspoon. Just when we thought things couldn't get worse, my phone buzzed with a text from our wedding venue. Mr. Johnson, we regret to inform you that we must cancel your reservation due to unforeseen circumstances. Son of a bitch, I swore, showing Jenny the message. She paled. You don't think... Oh, I absolutely think. Lisa's going for the nuclear option. We scrambled to call the venue, but they wouldn't budge. Something about a family emergency and double booking. It was bullshit, and we both knew it. As the night wore on, more dominoes fell. The caterer backed out. The florist suddenly had a conflicting event. Our DJ stopped returning calls. Jenny and I sat in stunned silence, surrounded by the wreckage of our wedding plans. What are we going to do? Jenny asked, her voice small. I pulled her close, feeling a mix of guilt and determination. We're going to fight back. Lisa wants to play dirty? Fine, two can play at that game. But even as I said it, doubt gnawed at me. Was I doing the right thing? Should I have handled things differently with Lisa? The what-ifs were eating me alive. Jenny must have sensed my inner turmoil. She cupped my face in her hands, forcing me to look at her. Hey, I know that look, stop it. You haven't done anything wrong. We're in this together, remember? I nodded, trying to believe it. Together. Right. As we started making lists of people to call and fires to put out, I couldn't shake the feeling that this was far from over. Lisa had declared war, and our dream wedding was just the first casualty. But looking at Jenny, her face set with determination as she worked the phone, I knew we'd get through this. We had to. Because the alternative, letting Lisa win and tear us apart, wasn't an option. So we dug in, ready to fight for our future. Little did we know, the real battle was just beginning. The next few weeks were a blur of damage control and planning. Jenny and I were determined to salvage our wedding and our reputations. We'd had enough of Lisa's bullshit. "We need to expose her," I said one night, pacing our living room. "Show everyone what she's really like." Jenny nodded, her laptop open to a folder full of screenshots. "I've been saving everything. The fake posts, the threatening messages, all of it." We decided to host an engagement party, inviting everyone who'd been caught in Lisa's web of lies. It was time to set the record straight. The night of the party arrived, and I was a bundle of nerves. Jenny squeezed my hand as guests started to arrive, some looking uncomfortable, others openly hostile. "Remember, we've got this," she whispered. I nodded, taking a deep breath. "Let's do it." We mingled, answering questions and clearing the air. Slowly, the tension started to ease. Then, just as I was about to make a toast, the door burst open. Lisa stood there, wild-eyed and holding Tommy's hand. "You thought you could exclude me? Turn everyone against me?" The room went dead silent. I stepped forward, my heart pounding. "Lisa, you need to leave, now!" She laughed, a harsh, bitter sound. "Oh, I don't think so. Not until everyone knows the truth." "The truth?" I scoffed. "You mean like the lies you've been spreading? The wedding vendors you scared off?" Lisa's eyes widened. "I don't know what you're talking about." Jenny stepped up, tablet in hand. "Really? Because we have proof. Emails, texts, social media posts, all of it." Lisa's facade cracked. She turned to the crowd, desperation in her voice. "You don't understand. Mark abandoned us. His own son? I'd had enough." "He's not my son, Lisa. We've been divorced for years. You can't just decide I'm responsible for a kid I never agreed to have." "But Tommy needs a father," Lisa pleaded, pushing the boy forward. "Tell him, Tommy. Tell Mark how much you need him." Tommy looked confused and scared. I don't know him, Mommy." The room collectively gasped. Lisa's lie was unraveling in real time. I knelt down to Tommy's level. "Hey, buddy, I'm sorry your mom dragged you into this, but I'm not your dad, and it's not fair for her to pretend I am." Lisa lunged forward, grabbing Tommy's arm. "Don't listen to him. Mark, how can you be so cruel?" My sister Karen stepped forward, shock on her face. "Lisa, what the hell? You told me Mark was Tommy's father." "She lied," Jenny said firmly, "to all of you, and we can prove it." We spent the next hour laying out the evidence. Lisa's manipulation, her threats, the sabotage attempts. With each revelation, her supporters dwindled. Finally, Lisa broke down. "Fine, I lied, but Mark, we were so good together. We could be a family. Why can't you see that?" I shook my head, feeling a mix of pity and anger. "Lisa, we divorced because we wanted different things. That hasn't changed. I don't want kids. I never have. And I'm in love with Jenny." Lisa turned to Jenny, venom in her voice. You ruined everything." Jenny stood her ground. "No, Lisa. You did that all on your own." My brother-in-law Tom stepped forward. "I think it's time you left, Lisa, and maybe get some help." As Lisa was escorted out, still clutching Tommy's hand, the room erupted in apologies and support. Karen hugged me tight. "I'm so sorry, Mark. I should have known better." The next few hours were a whirlwind of reconciliation and planning. Our friends rallied around us, offering to help salvage our wedding plans. As the last guest left, Jenny collapsed onto the couch, exhausted but smiling. "We did it." I sat next to her, pulling her close. "We sure did. I couldn't have done it without you." The weeks that followed were a blur of wedding preparations and legal meetings. We filed for a restraining order against Lisa, and word got around about her behavior. Finally, our wedding day arrived. As I stood at the altar watching Jenny walk down the aisle, I felt a sense of peace I hadn't known in months. We exchanged vows, surrounded by the people who truly mattered. As we shared our first kiss as a married couple, the cheers drowned out any lingering doubts. At the reception, my best man Dave raised a toast. "To Mark and Jenny, proof that love conquers all, even crazy exes." The room erupted in laughter and applause. Jenny squeezed my hand, her eyes shining with happiness. Months later, we were lounging on a beach in Bali, enjoying our delayed honeymoon. "Hey, did you see this?" Jenny asked, showing me her phone. It was a news article about Lisa. She'd been charged with harassment and lost custody of Tommy to his biological father. I felt a twinge of sadness for Tommy, but mostly relief. Looks like karma finally caught up with her. Jenny nodded, putting her phone away. I'm just glad it's over. Now, where were we? I grinned, pulling her close. I believe we were discussing the merits of sleeping in versus snorkeling tomorrow. As we laughed and planned our next adventure, I felt grateful for the life we'd chosen. No kids, no drama, just us against the world. Lisa's attempts to derail our happiness had only made us stronger. And as I looked at Jenny, radiant in the sunset, I knew I'd made the right choice. This was the life I wanted, the future I'd fought for. And nothing, not even a blast from the past, could change that. The story has come to an end. Now I have a question for you. Is it ever justified to pressure someone into parenthood, even if you believe it's for a child's benefit? Where do we draw the line between personal choice and social responsibility? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your perspective matters, and it could spark an interesting discussion. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more like it, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us create more content and keeps these stories coming. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you in the next one.